How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, guys, we're going to take a look at some Pokemon rumors, leaks, all that sort of stuff about Pokemon Legends EA, as well as the upcoming DLC, Mega Dimensions, because there's been a lot of talk about this potentially not being the only DLC we're going to get for this game, but also talks about, like, what this DLC is going to actually contain. And, well, there was this 4chan post that was made which specifically goes into some of the stuff. So sit back, relax, and let me get through it. So, they say Mega Dimension and then followed that by Hi. I'm bored. There are 14 total Mega Pokemon in this new update, which is close to finished. Raichus are the first two. So, what are we talking about? Well, basically, Mega Dimensions is a DLC that is already purchasable. It's going to be not a day one DLC because you're not actually going to get the story stuff in the game on day one. Rather, that's going to be later. It's going to come out in like probably like November, December, January at like the latest, because it's supposed to be released in winter, the winter period. That's essentially what they said in the actual like listing. If you go over to like the Nintendo website and you look up like Mega Dimensions, Mega Dimensions Pokemon, I think you can see it on like the official website as well for Nintendo right here, where it sort of lists like, when things will be available in general, right? So it says here, purchase early to receive the luxurious Pokeball set as an early purchase bonus. If you purchase this DLC, a physical digital, by Saturday of this time, you'll get an email with a code for this specific item. So if you want the luxurious Pokeball set containing 12 balls in 4 varieties, Fast Ball, Heavy Ball, Level Ball, and Lure Ball, this code can be redeemed through the mystery gift function in your game until Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. The mystery gift function can be found within the link play menu option. So there you go, there's that. But let's talk about the actual contents of this DLC, right? So upon purchasing the DLC, you can claim the Holo X and Holo Y in-game items. But here's the thing. You don't get just that. An additional story content will be released, but is planned for release by February 28th, 2026. Now, why do they say February 28th? Because that's a day after Pokemon Day. Like, Pokemon Day is February 27th or 28th. It kind of depends on. That's Pokemon Day. That's when they announce the next Pokemon game. That's when we're going to get Generation 10 announced. And that's literally when we're going to see the next Pokemon game announced. So, the fact that they're literally, like, already here telling us that this is going to happen before, or by this date, pretty much means we're going to get it some point from now until then. And they specifically want to get it out before they announce the next Pokemon game, because they want to make sure that people have already purchased this DLC, they already got it, and that they're going to move on to the next thing. Now, why does this matter? Well, because this DLC, and even Legends EA, was originally planned to release last year in 2024. It was originally supposed to release then, and this DLC, Mega Dimensions, was one of the DLCs that was supposed to come out essentially this year. Like, this year now is when we were supposed to get it. Like, in 2025, this DLC was supposed to be coming out. But now, because they want to make sure that, like, they get both these things out at the same time, same year, same time frame, to make sure that people are focused on the next thing and that they make sure that they still get their purchases. Because remember, this DLC is serving as the same scale as the Scarlet and Violet DLCs, right? They're supposed to be, like, on the same level. And basically, this is their way of making sure people buy it, but also making sure that they don't have to give a specific date yet, because this DLC probably still needs some fine-tuning, I'm guessing, based on this. Still needs some stuff done for it. But, like, the biggest thing is that this was already planned to come out. Like, they already planned on this coming out this year. This was already in their plans, but it was delayed. Like, the entirety of Legends EA was delayed as confirmed by leakers. Like, it was a delayed game, and now this is just their way of sort of like, okay, well, let's get it out quickly so that we don't have to like talk about ZA anymore once we get to February 28th right here, which is Pokemon Day. It's literally like, the proof is in the pudding. It says it right here, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit weird, but it's not a day one DLC, so that's the most important thing, right? But what will actually be in there according to this leaker? Well, he says, of course, we have the Raichus, which we already see, the two of them, X and Y, right? But then they also say Hoopa. Apparently, Mega Hoopa is a mess. It's the Hoopa Unbound form. Its tail is removed and goes through a portal. The hair is removed and replaced by a portal connected to its head, leaking rainbow energy in the hair shape. Horns curve on the chin like a second beard. An arm grows through a portal in her chest. Okay. So that's what they say about Hoopa. Now, Hoopa being like one of the megas doesn't surprise me because Hoopa is going to be obviously one of the important characters for this DLC, given the fact that we literally can see that it's Hoopa portals that are going to be probably taking us places. So think about like the Rainbow Rocket episode, but larger. That's essentially what you should think about for this DLC. Like, think of the Rainbow Rocket episode from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I think. I think that's which had it, right? Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had it. So think about that whole, like, adventure and that little story with, like, the Ultra wormholes and everything as well. Take that, but just apply it to the entirety of this DLC and make it larger, larger scale. Think of, like, Scarlet and Violet scale DLCs, right? So they say that the hair is removed and replaced by a portal connected to its head. Cool. Then they say that the other Pokemon that are going to get megas are Xerneas, an all-black version of it, replaced. All the black has been replaced with white color. It gains weight. The antlers are pink. They face up and down. There are crystals all over the body. Very fancy. Has a blue ellipse on her head. Yveltal, the talons disappear and the hair smoke becomes a cape. The wings become slim with giant claws. The tail splits several times. Very spiky, has a red triangle on his head. Now, again, Xerneas and Yveltal getting megas for this Mega Dimensions thing, not that crazy. It sounds realistic. Like, those are two legendaries which you would expect to get megas, but they didn't. And it just makes sense, especially because we know Zygarde's going to get a mega, because that's been leaked and we know that for a fact. It would be weird if the other two do not get it. It would be really strange. I mean, Rayquaza at least had, like, Rayquaza, whatever you want to call it, did have a Mega Evolution, but then at least, you know, Kyogre and Groudon had their primal reversions, which sort of served just like Megas as well, like a similar purpose. So it would be weird if Yveltal and Xerneas wouldn't get a Mega or some kind of extra form, especially for this game. Now, Aegislash, that would be crazy, man. Aegislash getting a Mega would be sick. Now, apparently, very long sword, sword arms, a large shield on the hilt of the big sword with a smaller shield on shields on the swords. That sounds a bit confusing. Then they say Go-Goat. The body is very bulky. Okay. The neck leaves become very bushy and covered down to its legs, like a very oversized saddle. Leaves cover its head like a helmet. Antlers come down like handles. Okay. They continue on. Clawitzer. Type changes to Water Dragon. Clawitzer is engulfed by the gun mouth, which becomes very big and long and gets too many fangs. Its tail pokes out of the end. Okay. Then they go on and say Ceruledge. Now, Ceruledge, and they also say Armarouge, right? So, Ceruledge and Armarouge, again, two very popular Pokemon, more recent ones, especially with like Scarlet and Violet and everything, right? So that would not be that crazy either, to be honest with you. Like, that wouldn't be that crazy to assume it could be real. So let's continue through the rest of it and see what it says. So they say at Ceruledge, elf ears become very long with flames at the end. The head is covered by flames. Only eyes are visible. Sword flames cover the arms and legs. Then Armarouge, the elf ears also become very long with flames at the end. Same situation on the rest of the head. No arms. Instead, there is a giant flaming cannon on its chest. Legs are black with fireballs. Okay. Then we have Dunsparce, which says it's very long. Sorry. So this very long. That's it. Dunsparce getting a Mega does not seem realistic to me, but who knows? Indeedee, think Mega Audino, but purple. Okay. And then Crabominable. One arm grows very large than the other. Hair turns into an icicle and its legs become very long. The short arm is very spiky. It looks like it has, you know, let's say, larger chest. The final one is in the replies. Feel free to ask questions. And then the last one, he says, Luxray. The fur becomes very spiky, electricity shaped. It has lightning crown on its head. The tail is shaped like a lightning bolt with a shooting star at the end. Most of the blue becomes yellow. So that's pretty much that rumor. Now, is this rumor real? Not necessarily. We don't actually know. It's just a rumor on 4chan. So, you know, it's here, neither here nor there. It's like, you know, it's just a rumor. So always take this with like a mountain of salt and don't assume that it's real until proven real, right? Until something confirms it. Like, we know that all the other mega leaks are real based on the fact that all the descriptions have been correct so far. But that does not mean that, like, you know, we should discount this post right here. Like, it may be real, may be fake. I just like covering it because I think it's worthwhile. But let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be this post right here. And this one comes to us from, in this case, again, 4chan, saying leaked stats and placeholder abilities, allegedly from TerraLeak. Here's a shit archive for now in case it expired. And it basically takes you to this page where it has some, like, I don't know what it's supposedly supposed to be for, but it does go through some stuff saying Zygarde has 6 forms in the source code. 50% and 10% both have 2 forms. One with Aura Break and one for Power Construct. I don't know. I'm not sure what the relevance is of this information, to be honest, if this is for the megas themselves, because we know Clefable is getting one, but we know that there are not really any abilities going to be in this game. The only thing we do know is that there will be probably abilities for Pokemon champions, right? So they say here ability, Aerialite, Dancer ability for Starmie, Victreebel getting Corrosion, Dragonite getting Inner Focus, Meganium Mega getting Natural Cure, Pharrell getting Strong Jaw, Skarmory Sharpness, Frostlass Intimidate, Emboar Supreme Overlord, Excadrill Tough Claws, Scolipede Tinted Lens, Scrafty Moxie, okay, Electros Levitate, Chandelure, wait, Shadow Tag? Really? Like, really? I mean, Gengar has that, so Chandelure having it too? Okay, I mean, fair enough. Chestnut would have Stamina. Levitate would be on Delphox. Greninja with Technician. Pyro Mega would have Moxie as well. Floette would have Flower Veil. And then Mega Malamar would have Contrary. Barbaracle, No Guard. And then Dragalge, Adaptability. Halucha, Defiant. Zygarde, I guess Mega, would have Aura Break. Drampa would have Berserk. And then Phalanx would have Battle Armor. So then they say, basically, Zygarde has 6 forms in the source code. 50% and 10% both have 2 forms. One with Aura Break and one with Power Construct. And the last 2 are Zygarde Complete itself and New Form, respectively. Abilities are included in the code, but inaccessible. Similar to PLA, like the new addition to that game, the information is likely still a work in progress and could be changed later, possibly introducing new custom abilities, which are currently coded with a placeholder. Take this with a grain of salt, since the build that the known leakers have access to probably does not have finalized information, which is true. So, again, this might be the abilities that these Pokemon will have. Maybe not in this particular game. Also, in case you guys are wondering what I'm looking at, this is what I'm looking at, essentially. It's just a giant list of stuff, you know? So, there you go. But, again, the main takeaway is just that these could be the possible abilities, but again, there are no abilities in the game anyways. This might be for Pokemon Champions or future Pokemon games like Generation 10 if there are Megas in Gen 10. So yeah, that pretty much summarizes that. Now, next topic is going to be this right here. So, not 100% confirmed, but Mega Chestnut from the early build of ZA has shields on its arms, but they were removed for the final version. So, the other described new Megas that we haven't seen could also have small final changes. There's hope for Starmie and Dragalge. Now, if you don't know, Starmie's Mega Evolution was described as literally just having long legs, and that's it. And based on the images we've seen from leaks, it looked absolute shit. Okay, it looked like absolute dog doo-doo. Like, it did not look good. And if you've seen Dragalge, it looks something like this, which also looks kind of like absolute dog doo-doo. But according to the man himself, Ball Guy, how much did Chestnut change, if you're able to tell? Arm shields removed. So based on that, it looks like the shields on the arms are gone off of Mega Chestnut, which were supposed to be there, but now they have returned. So here, Mega Chestnut wears a crown, gaining some orange elements and shields. The Chestnut shields replace the 2 spikes you have on his back. He has 2 spikes on his arms where you have shields. His cape is very fur textured and red, splits in 2 behind his legs. If you look at the actual design here, you'll see that a lot of the elements that were described are kind of there still, but the shields are kind of gone. Like, you know, they're not really there. If we actually, let's look up Mega Chestnut, right? Let's find the actual Mega Chestnut so we can get a proper, you know, look at this. So instead of like having like, you know, the regular Chestnut, right? If we can find a picture of that, let's see, Chestnut. Let's see, Chestnut as a Pokemon, right? So if you look at a regular Chestnut, you don't really have these like shoulder pad like shields that are there, and those kind of shields might have been actually on the arms originally, but that's been changed. The cape is there, split in 2, just like the description says, right? His cape is very fur textured and red, splits in 2 behind his legs, which is literally what is the case right here, as you can see. So the main point the main takeaway here is just that, like, the Megas may have changed. So we may still have hope for a lot of Megas that we thought were just, like, you know, going to be ass. There may still be a chance for them to actually turn out decent in case there were changes made in later builds, you know, for the final build, rather, of the game. So there's always hope. It's basically the end-all, be-all. So same thing for this. This may look better in the final result, but we'll have to wait and see. Next thing, though, is there's a post here by Soul who says, Blinken, you missed it, but they basically showed even more old Mega Evolutions returning in Legends EA. Almost all of them are in-game now. Finally, Mega Manectric, my beloved. So you guys can see that most of the Megas are basically confirmed to be back, including, you know, Hoenn Megas, right? But according to Toby here, or Birdkeeper Toby, he says, I mentioned in my new video, I think that what's interesting the ones we haven't seen are the Hoenn starters, Mewtwo, Blastoise, Venusaur, Latias, Primal Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza, and Diancie. I have thoughts that Diancie will be in the base game, and all the Hoenn Pokemon tie back to Hoopas, Rings, and Orats, which, yes, I do think that's a big possibility, because remember, the big thing about like that DLC is that we're going to be traveling to these portals to different locations, different dimensions, the mega dimensions. So you can only expect then that a lot of these mega dimensions may have some megas that maybe don't appear in Kalos, right? That maybe don't appear there. But also, it'll be taking us to dimensions where brand new megas exist, megas that we've never seen before, or megas that we just don't have normally access to, like, you know, Primal Groudon and Kyogre, Rayquaza, etc. Like, those are a lot of possibilities. And of course, the Latias and Latios. So, again, a lot of possibilities for that being the case. I love that Toby shared this, so just let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, because I want to hear what you guys have to say. Then there was also this right here. Now, this is essentially, I think a lot of people talk about this, but basically, if you played Scarlet and Violet, you guys may remember this picture of Greninja. Now, we all basically assume that, okay, this means that, you know, this has some relation to something. Now, at first, we didn't realize that this was first of all, it was a hint to Legends EA, and second of all, that's Mega Greninja. Like, literally, that's Mega Greninja. I mean, look at Mega Greninja. It has a giant blue shuriken, which it normally doesn't have in its regular form. A giant blue shuriken, which is right there. A big blue shuriken, and it's a freaking Greninja. Like, you know, it's like regular Greninja, which regular Greninja, like the Greninja in its Mega form, for the most part, looks the same, with like some more blue elements. But for the most part, the rest of it is just like all about the massive shuriken, right? So it is just kind of cool to see that these things definitely are being hinted. So this again confirms, like many times before, that, ladies and gentlemen, when they hint some weird stuff with pictures and stuff in Pokemon games, that it usually is a hint for the next thing they're working on. Like, that's always the case. People always doubt it, but it's just the reality of how these things work. They do tend to leave little hints and stuff. So I just wanted to bring it up again, because I'm personally just, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like excited about the prospect of this, and the possibility that, like, hey, hold up, we may actually have, you know, like, we might genuinely have, like, you know, more hints right now that we haven't even noticed. So, yeah, that pretty much summarizes that, though. But I don't really know what else to say. I think I've kind of mentioned most of everything I had to bring up. I don't think I've really missed anything in particular, but I think that should be just about it. I hope, of course, you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one, because I got loads of stuff to talk about. I got loads of videos to make. There's just so much exciting stuff for Pokemon that I want to talk about and make videos on. So I will see you guys in tomorrow's video, because we're going back to daily uploads starting basically today. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, and bye-bye.